Hey there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of 10 Weather Chat. I have a special guest with me today, and that is our anchor and reporter, Brittany Bailey. Thank you so much for being here. I asked her to come in, and I was like, let's just talk about weather. Because it affects everybody, whether you're the meteorologist or the anchor.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as you don't ask me to do anything like forecasting, anything with a computer or numbers, I'm happy to talk about the weather, sure.
Yeah. So the main story now is going to be the heat, but I kind of want to hop back to what happened this past weekend. We had very heavy rainfall across portions of East Tennessee. We had some storms on Saturday, and then on Sunday, a band of rain just set up across the viewing area and dumped copious amounts of just torrential rainfall. And that caused all kinds of flooding across portions of the viewing area.
Absolutely. I remember being at home on Sunday and looking at the radar, actually, as one does when you're into the weather and into the news, and just saw the big glob moving our way. And we thought, ooh, it's going to hit. Of course, we didn't know exactly how bad it was going to be. But by the end of the day, I know that there were several inches of rain. And here in Tennessee, we had a death in Granger County, a woman who her son got into the floodwaters and in a culvert, and she went in to rescue her son. Her son made it out. She did not. Terribly sad story. We know also in Fentress County, tons of damage there. Roadways washed away, also in Cumberland County. So really large areas of our East Tennessee community affected by this.
And you know, our terrain is so beautiful here, but man, we cannot handle heavy rain.
No.
It all goes rushing down the hills. It washes out roadways. It causes rock slides. We get trees that come down. And the impacts from that heavy rain this weekend are still ongoing. Even a couple days later, the water's still receding. The rivers, creeks, and streams are still running high. And now that the ground is soft, we're still seeing it kind of move around. So we just want folks to use that extra caution as we go through the cleanup process and just watch out in those areas that might be a little more susceptible to problems. Anywhere near a hillside, you got to watch out for that. Our rainfall totals were 4 to 6 inches or more, which is more than we get in a normal month. In some areas, it saw closer to 8 inches, but more than we have in 2 months. So it was just a lot of rain in a short period of time.
And it's kind of hard because, I mean, you all do such a great job of warning people when things like this could happen. When needed, we put in the weather impact alert days. But you can know that much rain is coming, but you can't always tell exactly where that flooding is going to happen and how bad it's going to be. So it's one of those things where it's really hard to prepare for. You can be alert, but you just never know when it's going to become super dangerous.
And looking at the rainfall map, I mean, portions of southern Cumberland County, Ray, Meigs, McMinn counties hardly saw any rain that day. Even at the McGee-Tyson Airport, our official climate data site, on Sunday we had about 2 inches of rainfall. That does not even come close to telling the story about what other portions of our viewing area had. So, like you said, it's hard to pinpoint where the impacts are going to be. We don't know what roads are going to wash out, but whatever has been damaged, crews are working to get it repaired at this point.
And we can't forget to mention Kentucky as well. We talked a lot about East Tennessee, but, you know, up in Kentucky, Governor Beshear has declared a state of emergency. He is sort of activating the price gouging because there's so much damage there. 4 people died there. That I think there's even more extensive damage in Kentucky than we saw here in East Tennessee.
And theirs was actually more of the Saturday event. We kind of only had some strong storms on Saturday here, and there was more scattered. But man, Kentucky had what we had on Sunday happened in Kentucky on Saturday. And so they had already had days of heavy rain, and it just, like I said, runs all down the hills to the same places. Trying to find some positives of the rain that we had this weekend.
Yes.
I think it's going to make a big impact on our drought monitor when that comes out on Thursday. So that's helpful. Lake levels.
Oh, yeah.
They're running below summer pool. I'm going to be talking to TVA later this week about this. They are rising sharply now that all that water is starting to reach those reservoirs. So thankfully, because they're already below where they should be for this time of year, it's not going to cause any problems. If anything, it should help for folks that want to get on the water.
Right.
Just watch out for debris, because with the currents bringing all that down, that could make a mess of the water.
Because we've been talking about low lake levels right now, and people trying to get out early for the season on the boats and being aware of sort of things that would be revealed because of the low levels. So maybe this will help with that a little bit.
Yes, hopefully it helps with the drought. Hopefully it helps with the lake levels. Those are the positives that are coming from what was unfortunately a big problem over the weekend. Now let's talk about the heat. Because that
let's not. No.
I mean, nobody wants it, and we're actually, I mean, just for behind-the-scenes transparency, we're wearing blankets in our laps right now because it's kind of cold in the studio. But moving ahead this week, this is our first heat wave of the year.
Yeah,
it gets hot in June and July. That's normal. But when you factor in the humidity, that's going to be a key player here, and we want folks to be smart and be safe. I know as a pet owner, that's something you think about with your dog, right? So how do you alter your daily routine when it gets so hot and muggy outside for your sweet pet, Gabby?
I think you got to make sure to take her out in the mornings and the evenings when it's not the hottest part of the pavement. But thankfully for us, we have a fenced in backyard. So probably she's maybe not going to go on a lot of walks depending upon how hot it is, and just be out in the back where she can be on grass, and, not be out for long periods of times, have access to water, all of that. And I think, as you said, we're not used to this quite yet this year. So it's a good reminder for folks because they maybe haven't been thinking of that. That's not been top of mind, but it's going to have to be this week.
Yeah, definitely. And if your pets are going to be outside, make sure they have access to shade, make sure they have access to cool, fresh water, not nasty water that's been there for a while.
Right.
Because they need to cool down. But we do too. And that's the thing. I don't know if everybody is ready because we just haven't been in the habit, like you were saying. Try to avoid the strenuous outdoor activities during the hottest time of the day. If you have to work outside, drink extra water and electrolytes. That's another factor that I think sometimes gets missed. You can drink water all day long, but eventually your body may stop absorbing it. And the best way to get it into your system is sodium, potassium, those little hydration tablets.
Yes.
Try to avoid sugary drinks. Don't want to name any specific brands, but try to avoid the sugary drinks.
If you see the bottles of colored type looking water stuff, maybe not that.
Maybe not that. I mean, you got to replenish too, but just don't overdo it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Sugar's not going to help you. Maybe caffeine, stay away a little bit from the caffeine, wear light colored, loose fitting clothing, take breaks, and most importantly, don't leave children and pets in vehicles this time of year. That sun heats up the interior of the vehicle so much faster than anybody is even aware. And so that's look before you lock. We don't want to do that. And also just make sure that you're checking on your neighbors. As we get older, our bodies don't handle the heat as well. So some elderly folks that live at home, their AC may go out or something may happen and they don't have anybody checking on them. So just take care of everybody around you this week and make sure everyone is safe in that heat.
I think that is always great advice and always good reminder, but I don't know if I'm prepared for it. I wish it was only like a day or two and we could say, oh, we can get through it, but this is going to extend into the holiday weekend. And that's, of course, when a lot of people are going to be out and about and outside. So if people are going to be going to, let's say, World's Fair Park or all of the other celebrations, I think it's a good reminder to be, I guess maybe by the end of the week, maybe we'll be more prepared than we were right now, but
it's still going to be yucky.
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking a look now at the heat risk map. We talk about a severe weather risk. We talk about a flooding risk. That's the same idea as what this map shows us here. It has 5 categories. So the red is a major risk to people, mostly the elderly and young populations, the ones that are more susceptible to heat-related illnesses. But that's Wednesday. As we get into Thursday and Friday, that purple color that's all over the place, that's the extreme, level 5 out of 5 risk. So folks that don't have air conditioning or have to work outside may succumb to heat-related illnesses without even realizing that they're starting. And that risk, like you said, is going to continue through this week and, yes, into our 4th of July holiday. For folks heading out to World's Fair Park or any of the events going on, you've got to be thinking about that. And it doesn't start when you go outside. It starts in the days leading up to it. So start hydrating now, eating proper foods now. Protein is a good type of category to look for in your food, because it'll help your body kind of maintain that hunger and keep you healthy. It helps your body cope with the heat a lot better, too.
I just don't cope with it well at all, though. So maybe I'll be staying in for a lot.
Bring your fans, bring your misters.
Yeah.
Find a way to wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothing. And if you are going out to World's Fair Park, they're going to have, cooling tents, I'm sure, and misters and ways to keep people safe and medical personnel on staff there to help. But it starts with personal responsibility, too, to take care of yourselves. And if you're not somebody who handles the heat well, maybe that's not the event to go out and sit outside. But here at WBIR, we have a solution for that, don't we, Brittany?
We do. We will be streaming Festival on the 4th, not only on Big 10, as we say, WBIR, but right here on our streaming channel. And it's all for free.
And those fireworks, or I should say the concert with the KSO, starts at 8 p.m. and goes until 10 p.m. And so if you can't go out to celebrate, you can watch it there in the comfort of your own home.
And I bet it will be a super fantastic show because, of course, we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. So if there is ever a time to celebrate the 4th of July, this is the year to do it, right? Even if it's going to be super hot and muggy out there.
Which, that's summer in America. Yeah. To have heat and humidity and a chance of some scattered showers and storms. Classic summertime forecast. And we just want folks to check back for the updates and be smart and be safe as we get toward the end of this week and deal with this heat wave here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope everybody stays safe with all of that heat that we're having this week here in East Tennessee. We'll keep you updated here at WBIR.